Hi guys, welcome to our return of serve lesson of the week. Okay, so with the return of serve, I really find it important to start sort of differentiating between return of serve and forehand and backhand. Okay, it's quite easy, especially when it's slower serve, sort of come in and sort of treat it exactly the same as a forehand and backhand. But what that's not doing is preparing us for when we have to deal with return of serves that are coming at a faster speed. So to start with, so for our red level, and as it sort of goes through as well, having the definition that we are returning serve and we're treating it as a completely different shot is going to build our sort of fundamentals with this particular shot. And this return of serve is so important. Okay, it's the second shot of every rally. We've got to play it, so we want to be sort of really good with this particular shot. So the goal of the return of serve is against a sort of a better serve, a first serve, is can we keep it in? And against the second serve, can we sort of play a better shot where we can start to take advantage of the point? So how we start off is how we sort of differentiate it is at our red level. Instead of sort of taking our racket back further, all we're sort of doing is getting the idea of our first movement is getting a sort of almost like a pause and wait to the side. So if the serve comes into my forehand, I'm here before sort of hitting it back. And my backhand, I'm here. So all I'm doing is getting my first movement ready and waiting to my side. Okay, so as it comes in, if it's really slow, we then go into our sort of second movement. So what I've got is first movement, and if it's slow, I can bring back and play the shot. Same on the backhand. I'd start here quickly, and if it's slow, I've got time, I can bring the racket back before playing it forward. But the advantage of this is if someone hits a faster serve and my first movement's here, I don't need to take the racket back. I can be here, and the key thing on that return of serve is win the contact. Win the contact means we are getting the ball in front of us, we're not late. So if our sort of first movement, like a forehand and backhand, is back here, the racket's behind us and it's coming fast, we're going to be late as we play it. So for reds, we just start to get used to that first movement in front, and then we're using whichever sort of follow through we're sort of using. So if we're sort of starting off and we're using a small swing, fine. If we're at the stage where we're further back and we're using our sort of full swing, that's what we want to be doing. On the orange and green court, what we sort of do is we start building in some like extra layers with it. Knowing where to stand is going to be important on that return of serve. Where a lot of people go wrong is we stand too far back, and every time the serve comes in, it's always slow. We're then chasing and scrambling to get the return of serve. So starting a little bit closer, so inside the baseline, sort of moving up halfway, sometimes halfway between the service line and baseline is where we want to be for the shot. So we're just a little bit closer to, obviously that depends on who we're playing, but most of the time that's where we need to be. If it's coming faster, we just move back a little bit. Second thing, so our orange and green and above, what we're doing is making sure we're ready with our racket, our feet and our eyes. So with the return, I've straight away got my wider base, I've got my eyes sort of ready as it's sort of coming in. I've got my grip on my racket, on my forehand grip, and my left hand's holding it from my backhand. And what I'm doing is as the serve is coming up to serve, I'll take a step forwards and a split step as they hit the serve. The split step allows me to push off in different directions. So as it's sort of coming up, I've got like a split step before the short take back on either side. So for this sort of stage, that's what we're sort of looking for. Get the idea of being ready rather than sort of just waiting for the serve to start, being too narrow. We've sort of got a wider base, we're sort of a little bit more athletic, and then we've got the idea of the split step each time sort of coming forwards, and then our sort of short take back again, like we sort of discussed before. And usually that's sort of enough to start with at the sort of orange and green levels we're coming through. As we move into yellows, we need to start talking about the different footworks that's going to happen on return of serve. It's still exactly the same thing, that short take back. So if it's fast, we don't need to take it back any further. If we're playing someone with a slow serve, we've got this first movement and then a second movement, not just one movement. So we've got the two stages coming with the return of serve. But the difference now with the faster serve, we don't have that time to react. We're coming forwards, we've got our split step, but we now need to use our footwork to sort of get across. So if I was returning serve and it's coming to my forehand and it's not too far away, I'd be coming forward, split, short take back, swing through at the end. And what I'm looking to do with the sort of return, so I'm here, and then what's actually bringing forward, so I'm almost like catching the ball, turning the shoulders to send it back. Really important that we turn the shoulders as we're coming, because the ball, with a fast serve, the ball's got a lot more force on it, and if I'm trying to send it back with just my arm, it's going to be too weak. If I'm trying to sort of be here and then turn my shoulders, I'm going to be a lot stronger sending it back. Now when it goes wider, what I've got is from my split step, I'd be pushing off with a big step out with my right foot, and then I'll be sort of crossing over with my feet using the flow sort of footwork pattern that we talked about before. So again, so I've got a split step pushing out or covering off the space. This will cover me off in the distance that I've got for the shot. If I stand further back, it's going to give me a little bit more time. I might get a couple more steps in, but it means you've got to cover more space. We don't want to be too far back as we're returning the serve. Same thing on the backhand, as it's sort of coming in, sort of short take back, and I'm sort of waiting here, swinging through as I sort of play the shot. And if it's that wider one again, I've got my split step pushing out and able to cover the space with that big push step out. Against a good server, where we aim it's going to be sort of really important. Where we want to aim it in singles is we also got like a preset plan of where we hit it. What we want to be doing is aiming it down the middle and aiming it deep. Okay. The reason why we're sort of doing this is we're under pressure already. We haven't got much time to make decisions. So having a preset idea of where we're aiming it is going to help us with the execution. The reason why we're aiming it down the middle is we're taking angles away from our opponent. If we hit wide, it gives them a bigger space to hit into, leaving us more vulnerable. So one, we go down the middle to take angles away. We aim deep because it's going to be hard for them to hit a strong shot when it's deep to them. And if we can do that, we're in the point. So essentially against a good serve, getting it in, but if we get it in middle and deep, we're well back in the rally. Okay. Right guys, have a fantastic week and look forward to seeing you guys soon. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye bye.